When you're saving an FCU file, or if somebody asks you to take the screenshot, we actually have a button down here now that is called Screen Save in the G4. And so from the station setup screen and multiple screens throughout the tree view, if you come down and click your Screen Save button, you get a pop-up here that says the connected device is X series. Entry mode save button saves only the entry mode items. For a complete backup, you must go to Save and Restore Utility, and then it tells you how to get there under Operate File Utility menu. So later in the tutorial we'll cover Save and Restore, but for this we're going to go ahead and say OK and just save a .fcu file. And so now what we have is it says you can select which parts of the data you want to save. And so notice this is set up exactly like our tree view over here on the left. We have Totalflow up at the top, communications, and then our I/O subsystem, flow measurement, display, holding register, operations, and trend system. And so just for an example, if you wanted to save the entire thing, you can click the box up by your device ID, and this checks everything inside and underneath each one of the topics. Now if you wanted to uncheck everybody, same thing, click it, it undoes everything there. Now what I use this for a lot of times is when I set up some communication port and there's a lot of tedious things there that you need to turn on, 8 parity and your stop bits and your and so forth, those kind of things. And so a lot of times people will say, how did you set up your COM1 on your G4? I can just take this screen save and only grab my setup of COM1, and then I can send this file to the other guy, and he can come up and view the file that I sent him, and then he can open them side by side and then just go ahead and type those values into his configuration in his G4 and go ahead and connect it up, the radio wiring and so forth, the same way, and it just makes it easy. It's basically a screenshot of PCCU. So for example, I'm going to drop down here under communications and go ahead and click on TF remote COM1, and once again we could do a select all or unselect all just like we did earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and check the TF remote COM1 and hit OK, and you can see it goes out and reads everything inside of TF remote COM1, and then it pops up a window here that says device configuration file, and notice it's going to save it inside of PCCU7, and that's underneath my hard drive C:\PCCU7, and then it's asking what do you want to call it, and you can see I've saved some here, Totalflow and so forth. So I need to save it something different because I already have a Totalflow .fcu, so I'm just going to call this one G4 XFC and go ahead and hit save. And so now it's saved. I could go out there, create an email, go out and find that FCU file and email it, and once the next guy gets it, I'll show you how to open it and go ahead and view that saved FCU file. And to do that, you would connect to your G4 like we are here and go to your open configuration file button, and when you hit that, it's going to browse out. It says device configuration file, exactly where we were. It says it's under PCCU7, and that's correct. So now I'm going to jump over here and find my G4 XFC.fcu. Go ahead and choose that, and notice it's looking for an FCU file .fcu. So I'm going to say open, and when I do that, notice that it says I'm connected to configuration file C:\PCCU7\G4XFC.fcu, and it's not Totalflow anymore. It says device communications TF remote COM1, and that's the only part of my configuration that I saved. But now it has the setup tab, and it shows my port name, my port, protocol, baud rate, listen cycles. It also shows the advanced tab, my interface, data bits, parity, stop bits, and all of those things, including how the schedule was set up if I had one, and how the modem was set up also if I had one. And so now you could take the two screens here and you could put them side by side, and so we would have a live meter here on the left. This is my Totalflow live meter, and then the one on the right here is my FCU file. So now I could take all the values from my FCU, type them directly into my live G4 board and send them, and I would be set up exactly like the FCU file that was sent to me through email. So this is saving an FCU file and then how to view one. So this concludes saving an FCU file or a screen save.